Hi everyone, so I'm just making a quick video on forgiveness as I thought it might be a good topic to bring up for anyone who is manifesting particular people back into your life, and there may be a little bit of a backstory that kind of needs a little bit of forgiveness and is holding you back to allow the new story to unfold. So I was inspired to bring this topic up as I was watching Dr. Maya Angelou, and she was quoting that quote by Roman playwright Terence: "Nothing human can be alien to me." So, what this means is if there is perhaps a relationship that you want to resolve, we can take a step back and we can look at what unfolded. Now, if you are someone who is working on your beliefs, you're going to be more elevated in consciousness to open your mind to what unfolded beforehand and how you got into the current situation that you are in. However, I want to go on the scope of the other person as well too. And maybe perhaps they are not working on their beliefs. So let's say, for example, they have a belief where they are not worthy of love. Now, this doesn't mean that they're not going to get into relationships. It just means that they will start to get into relationship and everything may be going fine. But then as the love expands and becomes more progressive, they start to take a step back because of the emotions that they are feeling inside. Now, the emotions that they will be feeling inside, if they are not someone who works on their beliefs, they're never going to really identify with the idea that they think they're not worthy of love. Because when we are not working on our beliefs, we fall into this kind of disillusion that there is nothing that we are needing to work on. Because let's say, for example, we get into relationships but things unfold the same way and we're not aware of our belief system, we tend to recreate the same things, and then we just tend to conform to that story because that's who we believe we are. And it's even on an unconscious manner as well too. So even if we're not working on our beliefs, these relationships tend to unfold that way. If we don't identify it, we'll still go into a new relationship thinking that this one is going to end up better, or it's going to be the one. And then again, if we don't work on ourselves a little bit and see where these limiting beliefs are, it can still unravel in the same way. Now, I'm not saying that as a limiting belief. Obviously, things can change and stuff as well too without working on your beliefs. But I'm just kind of using it as an example to explain how to forgive when you want to attract somebody back into your life and there's a little bit of a backstory that you're not able to let go. So I want to bring this topic up of a relationship dissolving. So let's say, for example, you were in a relationship, everything was going fine, and then all of a sudden they started to take a step back. Usually, not all the time, a person who takes a step back from love that is expanding can mean that they're not on an unconscious level. You'll know this yourself if you're working on your beliefs, but there is an unconscious level within them that believes that they're not worthy of love, that they're not good enough, or maybe they're not good enough to sustain this love, or feeling that they're good enough to be good enough for you in the long run, to be consistent with sustaining this love. And these are all limiting beliefs that can be held within, unknown to the person. So how they interpret this, and this is how they will show up in your reality. And if you're not someone who's working on your beliefs, you're going to interpret it in a way that is something to do with you, but it's actually never anything to do with you. It's to do with how the other person is thinking from their own belief system. So I know it's all kind of confusing and things like that, but just stay with me for the minute. So let's say, for example, that this person starts to take a step back and you're wondering why they're taking a step back because they're not giving you any explanation. So you start to grasp onto it then a bit more. So as you grasp onto it a bit more, they start to become more overwhelmed. And as they continue with these feelings of inadequacy, they're starting to put the inadequacy feeling onto you. So this will start to make them feel a little bit confused in how they are feeling. So their communication won't come across as clear, and you will interpret it then as something then to do with you. However, as you continue to interpret it as something to do with you, because everyone is you pushed out, this is how then they start to attach everything then to you as well too. So they will start to think that the reason they're feeling inadequate, the reason they're feeling not good enough, is because they're attaching it to you and thinking that it's something to do with you. Now, this is just all coming and it's all filtered through their own belief system. But because you are dwelling on it, let's say, for example, you're not somebody who's working on your beliefs either, and because you're dwelling on it and thinking that it's something to do with you, you're releasing this energy that is actually unfolding in front of you, unaware to yourself, as you continue to acknowledge what they are doing, and as you continue to pursue them and chase them and find yourself spiraling down because you're afraid of losing them. Now look, we are all human and we've all been there. So anyone who has, we've all had a situation in our life where we acted in a way that was not to our truth, and that's okay because we're human. This is how we learn. So first of all, it's to forgive yourself, and it's to understand that, okay, well, if I reacted this way, well, then I have to identify my own beliefs. But however, this is where we say to ourselves, well, nothing human can be alien to me. So when we take a step back and we take a really good look at what is going on with the other person, and we say to ourselves, well, let's say, for example, this was the other way. Let's say, for example, that I was somebody who didn't believe in my worth. Let's say that I didn't think that I was worthy of consistent love. And let's say I attracted somebody who was willing to give me this love. So let's say after a while, I start to feel inadequate myself and I start to pull back. Let's say then this person starts to pursue me more. Now, because they're pursuing me more, it's starting to make me feel a bit overwhelmed. So I'm pulling back a bit more. And because they're pursuing me more, maybe it's because they are feeling inadequate then, because they're thinking that they're losing you. And so because they're thinking that, you start to go the other way. You start to feel off. You start to associate it with them. And you start to think that it's because of them that you're feeling this way. And you know what? You start to think, okay, we're not compatible after all, so I want to leave this. Now, this can turn into you then leaving the situation. Maybe you become the one then that ghosts them, or stops talking to them, or just doesn't show up, or whatever it is. And then they reach out to you again, and you start to feel all of this emotion within. You're starting to feel guilt. You're starting to feel not so good within yourself. You're starting to feel inadequate. You're starting to feel that this person was never actually what you wanted in the first place, because of the overwhelming love that they're giving you. Now, this means that when we are feeling like that, we can put ourselves then into the other person's shoes and understand that nothing that is done is ever personal. It is all coming from a belief system within the both of us, which means that this is how we can understand forgiveness. Because if we can put ourselves into those positions, if we can understand that how people respond and react to the way that we are showing up from their own belief system, we understand then that it is nothing to do with us. So it's great then if you are working on your belief system, because let's say, for example, this happens, but you're so good within yourself, you're actually allowing it to just unfold in a different way. So this person shows up, they're feeling not worthy of love. And then after a while of being in the relationship, they start to pull back, and they do all these things because they're feeling that they're not maybe good enough for consistent love and all of these things, and they're jeopardizing it along the way. But if you're somebody that's working on your belief system, this is where it doesn't affect you. Because it is not affecting you, you're not putting your attention on it. So they're not picking up on the inadequacy of, they're not picking up because you're not pursuing them or chasing them or doing anything like that. You're just simply enjoying your life. You're getting on with what it is that you are doing. You're working on your beliefs. You're prioritizing yourself. You're stabilizing yourself. And then because this is the energy you're putting out, well, then they start to change around, and they start to think to themselves, okay, well, you know what, maybe I can sustain this relationship. Maybe I'm just being silly. Why am I starting to feel inadequate? Why am I not feeling worthy? And this is how the situation then responds to how you are showing up. And when we are wanting to forgive someone, this is a great analogy to kind of get ourselves into. It's to understand that to forgive someone is to understand that what Maya Angelou had said, nothing human can be alien to me. So if I am someone who's not working on my beliefs, and something unravels in my reality and I respond in a way that is unfavorable, when I do work on my beliefs, I can look back and I can say to myself, oh my God, I can understand now why this person reacted this way. Also as well too, if I am someone who is working on my beliefs and this person did show up in that way, well then I can bring the forgiveness too, because I can say to myself, I feel kind of, I feel you feel a little bit kind of sorry for the person who is feeling like that. You start to come into this knowing that this person, of course, is worthy of love. And I feel so bad that they can't see that. And I feel bad within myself that, I feel a little bad that they don't see how worthy of love that they are. And also, as well, too, because you're working on your belief system, you start to say to yourself, thank God that I know how worthy I am. Thank God I don't have this feeling of ill will within me. Thank God that I'm able to open my heart and receive love. Thank God that I'm working on myself so much that I'm able to enjoy my life by the way that I am, my abundance. And as this has unfolded, then I can forgive this other person, because that person just needs more love. If you get what I'm trying to say, they need the love to understand that they are allowed to grow in this environment. They need the love to let them go. They need the love to allow the environment to unfold for them in a way that allows them to stand up, because they're noticing that you're not responding to anything that they're doing in a way that is negative, in a way that is grasping. You're just simply being love, and you're showing up with this unconditional love because you unconditionally love yourself by going through your beliefs. I know this is a lot to get your head around, but I wanted to bring it up for anyone who is wanting to manifest somebody back into your life, because we are all connected, and you can do this. You can manifest anyone back into your life, but let the old story go, and let it go with the knowing that whatever they do cannot be alien to you. Because sometimes in life, when we are actually in a low state of being, we don't know how we're going to react. We don't know how we're going to show up to somebody. Maybe we will be the one who is not showing up favorably, and it's in these moments that we have to understand that that can be us as well too. And wouldn't we want somebody to be so stable in themselves, to understand that, to be so stable that they actually are still allowing you to be yourself as you continue to grow. And it's when we understand that, then we become more inspired to give out genuine love, because we're giving it to ourselves more. So it all comes back to you. It all comes back to your stability within yourself, your love within yourself. And when you truly embody this genuine, unconditional love within yourself, it's like you transcend over everything that anyone is doing, because you can see past it. It's what we're saying when we see past the circumstances. Now, I'm not saying that this means that I'm not saying that this means that you accept negative behaviors and things like that. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's to understand when things are happening, that things are not personal, that we're all coming from this belief system. Now, if things are popping up and there's abuse and things like that going on, you take yourself away from the situation. I'm not saying that you have to be sitting there and allowing things like that to happen, but in the forgiveness of knowing that when we are in a low state in life, or a low state of being, that perhaps we can react in ways that are unfavorable as well too. So I just wanted to bring that topic up. Understand that forgiveness is a way of releasing the old story. It's a way of, even if you're not manifesting anyone in or anything like that, if you want to forgive past things and stuff like that, you just allow yourself to forgive it. Understand that in the forgiveness of things, if it allows you to become more free and more unconditionally loving within yourself. And when you forgive maybe past people that you don't want back into your life and things like that, forgive and let them go, and understand that as you continue to elevate and things like that, your life is going to unfold in the most beautiful way for you. And so you can allow then for yourself to think that, I'll just let that go with forgiveness and move on to the wonderful life then that is ahead of you. So I just wanted to make a video on that, and I'll chat to you soon.